Hello, we are here with Taekwondo legend Sabum Tapilatu, three times world champion. I don't need to introduce him. You all know who he is. It's an honour to have him here as our first guest on Talk TKD. I'm very excited to hear what he's got to say on competitions, training, etc. I've got lots of questions for him. But first of all, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very
much.
Yeah.
Excellent. You enjoying Jesselo?
It's beautiful. I heard it's raining in Holland, so we're here with 24 degrees, something like that, and it's pretty good weather. Spending the day at the beach, so
there we go.
Quite happy.
Excellent. That's what we want. So I'm going to dive straight into some questions because I'm sure everyone listening's got lots of stuff that they want to hear from the man himself. First of all, obviously you've won a lot. You've done a lot, not just in Taekwondo, in other martial arts as well. What's your career highlight? If you had to pick one event that was the highlight of your career, what would you pick?
I think it's going to be the World Championships in Malaysia, '94. I won that time from my brother-in-law and friend Thomas Barra in the final. It maybe not be a nice tournament for me. That if you look at the fights, but the tournament was organized very well. It was one of the best World Championships ever in the world, organized by the Malaysian government and the Malaysian Federation. Wow. It was beautiful weather and the hall was totally full. Yeah. There were like 5,000 spectators every day.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. And I think if you ask from the old days, the old guys, and then your father, in my time, it was like, what was the best? It was the best in Malaysia to win because it was enormous. It was brilliant. Yeah. Everything was arranged. Good hotels. 180 countries.
Wow. Yeah, that's
totally something different, and there were lots of people, and it was one of the most amazing World Championships I ever saw. Yeah. And the best organized. Yeah. So for me, that was the highlight of my career.
Definitely. How many fights did you have? Can you remember roughly?
In total, in my career?
No, at that competition.
At that competition.
Yeah, how many rounds did you have to?
Five, including the finals.
How many fights you had? God knows. Do you know how many fights you had?
I don't know. It's with the World Championships, I had 5 fights. Yeah, 5 fights. I don't know for sure, but 5 it was. So,
excellent. Yeah. Excellent. What would you say? Would you say there's a difference in the standard or the level of the fighters between now and back then?
Yes, very much. It's you cannot compare it anymore. As I would say, when we had the competition, there was more fighting. There was more passion. There was more. I don't know how you say it. It was more. Not harder, but people fought with more passion, and it looks different than it looks now. And maybe it's about also the mentality of the younger guys. I mean, the upcoming guys. That's totally different than we used to fight.
Do you think that that's to do with the rule changes, or just a generational thing and the way you train to the way people train now?
I think it's more a generational thing. It's not about the rules. You adapt the rules because everything evolves. So also the competition, and it's faster. Maybe it's more commercial. And it's totally, I think, a generation thing.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. So obviously, everyone knows you from your Taekwondo career. The people that are listening to this, but obviously you're also well known the kickboxing arena as well. You use your Taekwondo in different arenas. What would you say were the pros, the positives, and the cons and the negative things about Taekwondo, using them in different martial arts?
I make the switch because of the most of the MMA fight, the ground fighting. It was attracted to me. I started with it, and in Holland is known as a country who's standing up fight.
Yeah.
The K1, the Muay Thai, and all the
Dutch kickboxing.
The Dutch kickboxing.
Yeah.
We're well known for that. We have a lot of champions, and I trained with one of the champions, the greatest of all time, Semi Shu.
Mm-hmm.
I trained with him between 3 and 5 years, every day, 5 days a week. We trained together, and we were part of the Golden Glory team that time. And I got into the team, and if you into the MMA and you want to go back into the Taekwondo, you have to change. If for the Taekwondo you can use very well in the no holds bar, just in the ring, in the cage. You can do it very well with Taekwondo. You see the kicks from Conor McGregor. Well known. He uses the kicks from the Taekwondo. It's not the guy who practiced Taekwondo, but he uses the kicks. And I did it also in my MMA fights in Holland. But that time I went back to the World Cup in Benidorm. It was, I think, 2008, maybe it was. And I came back, and it was horrible how I fight.
Really?
It was not nice to see. Yeah. It was too hard, and it was not my style. We fought on a tatami, from the ring to the tatami, totally different. And I had a talk, not a discussion. I had a talk with Mark Trotter and Carl van Roon when they came to me. They were training 2 weeks with me, and Carl said to me, "Steph, you were experienced in the MMA fight," and he wanted to come back and do the World Championships again and want to be more involved in Taekwondo. I said, if you want to do that, just skip the MMA.
Yeah,
it's not going to help you. And he thought it over, and then he dropped it, and he started to do it, the Taekwondo again, and the normal boxing or the kickboxing with it. You can do it easy with Taekwondo, also in the competition. It's no problem. But the MMA, it's totally different story. It's a totally different game. It's a beautiful game. If you know if you know the game from the ground, like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's one of my favorites. I'm now a white belt Jiu-Jitsu, so I start with white belt again. Yeah. But it's a new passion. I think it's intelligent fight on the ground, and it's beautiful to do. So
definitely. I do some BJJ myself, and it's a whole different type of pain. It's a whole different. It's like they say like Taekwondo is like a chess match, and they say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is like a chess match. But they're two completely different chess matches. If that makes sense.
That makes sense, and that's why it's intelligent. It's not like I don't say MMA is not intelligent, but with the gi and with the rules, you have to think, and it's not like who's the strongest. Not at all. Not at all. I see guys from 58 kilos roll up guys from 100 kilos, and you go like, what happened? You go like, okay. So that's a totally different story. So, but mixing it together, the Taekwondo into the MMA, you can do easy. But vice versa, when you come back from the MMA into the Taekwondo competition, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah, like I've got a theory on like MMA, because I think when it first started, obviously MMA is relatively young. Like I think the major things like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, etc. They were, you needed to be able to do those, and if you could do those and somebody else couldn't, you were going to win. But now that everyone's kind of at that level, and everyone's got a bit of jiu-jitsu, everyone's got a bit of wrestling, now that technical striking, like the karate guys, Machida, McGregor, etc., that technical striking is giving those guys the edge that are taking them to that next level now that everyone's kind of at the same level with wrestling, which I think is exciting. Yeah, definitely. You've got I've forgotten his name now, but lots of guys that sort of they've got those head kicks and stuff like that. If you've got two guys that can both wrestle, they can both do BJJ, but one of them can head kick as well, then they've got that advantage over them. Yeah. But anyway, back to some Taekwondo. So obviously you coached the Dutch national team.
Yeah.
How do you feel about their performances this year at the World Championships?
this year
thus far.
Yeah, the
still
performances of the guys. We talked about also other countries. The performances are really good. We prepared very well.
Yeah.
But the results were disappointing.
Really?
Yeah. All the results were disappointing. You will see. We will talk about. We talked about it in.
It's alright. It's still.
Yeah, we will talk about it in afterwards when we have the talks with the team, and the medals are divided under the countries because we're now on the 13th place for Holland, and we have 4 medals, only 4, and we are 13th on the list. That's very high.
Yeah,
that's very high. We have 1 gold and 3 bronze. Normally you say 1 gold and 3 bronze, you're with your 19th, 17th place.
Yeah.
So you see it's totally divided under the countries. So you see the level is very high.
Yeah.
And when I saw this tournament also, the level from the competitors is very high. You know, so it's divided.
Yeah, definitely. It's I find for myself that's come from like a different ITF into this one, I think where, for me personally, I don't wish to offend anyone out there, I think this ITF has the highest standard.
I think we have a high standard because of all the seminars we given by, for example, by myself. Keeps the level high from all the competitors, and they wanted to win, you know. And if you wanted to win, you have to add some things you don't know or things you don't know to put in, you know. And that's how this federation is doing, and we're big, we're huge. You know, and that's why the competition can be as hard as it is now.
Yeah, and I think that's almost like why the sort of medals are so spread out. That the level is so high, and the difference between going out first round and winning is a millisecond between a kick and just a tiny tactical difference can. And you see people that are world champions going out, former world champions that are going out first or second round because it's the level is so high that you don't. Where other competitions I've been to before we came into this one in 2012. I was used to seeing more mismatches and more like people dominating, etc. Whereas here, I think there's less of that. It's every fight goes down to the wire almost.
Even if you fight Tim Cole in the first round, Ethiopia.
Yeah.
It was not like you say it was easy. You know.
Yeah.
Those guys taken with very well known trainers. Master Weiler, Thomas Barrett, I was teaching over there, and you will see those countries are developing. Have maybe the competitors have maybe more time than we have because the culture is totally different. But you see, you cannot say, oh yeah, okay, we have Ethiopia, so let's kick ass and we go on. No, you have to work hard for it now. So that's how high the level is these days from the ITF, and I think it's good. And you can say it's bad. But the discussion we had in a coach meeting, you want to have more people, but the level is very high. So can people make that level to come to the World Championships? And that is the next question you're going to ask yourself. Okay, with so many practitioners, where are they? Because if the level is very high, all the people come to the World Championships must be at a certain level, otherwise you better stay at home. It's a pity of your money when you come and you travel so far. When you see some people travel so far and you go like, what are you doing here? Maybe they don't know, but after this World Championships they know. They have to train harder, or they say, okay, we wait a few years before we come back. And the countries like England is doing very well. I think this World Championships because you had a few finals, more than a few. And He's my favorite. I have to say, Adam Bonwick. I saw him coming also from another federation. I was talking to his trainer, Johan da Silva, and I had the pleasure to train with Adam a few times, also in the Camp de Rokla from Thomas Barada, and you'll see he grew.
Yeah,
enormous.
And I've seen that. It literally, and the difference in the squad training is very.
And when he had a silver medal, I thought with a few changes, he's going to be the next world champion. We will see for the future.
Do you hear that, Bonwick? No pressure, but the Dragon thinks that you're going to be the next world champion. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure at all. Just keep training and do competition a lot, so it's going to be fine.
Indeed. Yeah, I think it's an interesting time for us, particularly in ITF England, because we've come over, JDS has come over, and I think the talent pool has kind of grown quite a bit, and I think the next few years are going to be exciting. Hopefully Sunday will be exciting. Team sparring would be looking forward to it.
Yeah, for the second time now, because normally Holland's got a team to spar. Last time we were third, we lost from Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got the Eastern countries are the first in our match. Ukraine, and if we win, if we win, we have Russia. So
good matches.
So it's strong, and that's why you say, it's not like we used to fight with Norway. And I was in Reading in '91 at European Championships. That's a long time ago, huh?
Yeah.
Mr. Whitlock is going like, how old was I?
I was 4 years old.
He was 4 years old, and I was fighting in the senior European Championships in '91 in Reading. And at that time, you say, Steph, you have to fight Norway the first round. You will be still sleeping 2 minutes before the match, and you woke up and you go, not to say bad about Norway, but the level is so very high. And nowadays, when you say to guys from Holland, so you have to fight Norway, they go like, oh, no, I have to do a good warm-up, otherwise, the level is going up from all the countries, and it's good to see. And there's no time to say we don't need a warm-up for this country, or you have to be ready every time, so the level is very high.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's... for me, on a personal note, it's great to, I think, if you want to call yourself a world champion, like, I think you can't really do that unless you come here and do that. But that's my personal.
You can be world champion. But today I had also a talk with, of course, with Adam Bonwick, but also with Julio's. Julio's son. I said, Julio Carlos.
Yeah.
He's with 63. I said to him, you can be a champion. You can be a world champion, but the real champions, they stay and they fight another world championships and they become a champion again. One-time champion, world champion is, for me, you're a world champion. It doesn't mean you're the champion, because you will stay and do the second time again or the third time,
Yeah. Well, there's like kickboxing and stuff like that. Say you're not the champion until you've defended it.
Yeah. There's always somebody who will try to kick you out of the ground, and it will be the next one,
Yeah.
And I say to myself, I'm one of the lucky guys. I think I did now 5 or 6. I did five world champions. I did, and I got 4 medals.
Wow.
Only one not, and there was Russia.
Okay.
And then for the rest, all the world championships I had a medal. It was 2 times gold. 2 times gold, 1 time silver, and 1 time bronze.
So, I'd like to keep you on that. So, obviously, as we were saying, obviously to win a world title is fantastic, and we're saying that the level is so high, and that it's the difference between coming out round 1, round 2, or world championship is a millisecond. How are you so consistent? Like how if if you were saying to a young fighter and you're saying, okay, you need to win multiple titles, is there something in your training? Is it a mental attitude? Is it having a good coach? What how did you do it?
For us, for the Tapilatu, in the genes. So
Yeah.
no. You know, if I look back from my youth till now, it's important that you believe in your trainer. My father was always my trainer, and you will see not a lot of sports will go father and son as a coach and as a competitor. It's not working very well. My father was my friend, was my coach. He was my everything. He still is, and it works that good because I had faith in him, and everything he did was with result. You know, and
Clearly.
still the system he has with training and training people and talking to people and treating people with respect helps. You know, and that can make you a champion. You know, and for the rest, I can say, if you do it, you have to find a balance between sport and pleasure.
Right. Okay.
If you can't find a balance between that, it won't work for nobody.
That's very interesting because a lot of people will say, you know, you must train hard, you must do that, you must, you know, etc. It's very interesting to hear some multiple time champion to say actually it's important to get a balance, and I think I've found that out the hard way. I think I wish you told me that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. What could you elaborate? What do you mean by having that balance?
I had a few talks yesterday, and it's about when you train so much, you can do it for maybe 4 years, easy. When you're 18 or 17 years, then it's easy. After that, you have to find yourself a balance. Maybe some people go to work, some people go to school. You have to combine it with a lot of training. So earlier up and late to bed because of the trainings. You know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stress, a lot of tension. But you have to relax once in a while.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will quit and you will never go back to the sport again. You go to your work, you go to the couch, and that's it, because it was no fun anymore. You know?
Yeah.
The pleasure is gone for why you did the Taekwondo trainings. You know, just find your balance. You know? That means not only the holidays, but you have to. You always have the big holidays, 6 to 8 weeks. That you must find that as a holiday to do nothing. You know, and after that you start again.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can find a balance between a lot of training and pleasure, I think you're gonna do that for a long time.
Yeah, I think I found that again personally. Like I found it that very hard when I was younger, and I think personally for me, I think it's taken its toll physically as well. I went through a stage between the ages of sort of. I did my first World Championships at 14, and
Quite young.
yeah, and but the ages between the ages of like sort of 18, 19 to like 24 or so, I competed so much, you know, like every 3-4 weeks, etc. And now I can't. I mean, you know, I'm sat with strapping on my shoulder, like that's to my own detriment. My instructor, Master Gale, who apparently
fought my father.
Yeah,
in the TGB tournament.
Yeah.
I asked my father. He said, "Yes, I fought Mr. Raymond Gale."
Yes, sir.
Yes, and I saw it on Facebook again. It was really nice to see.
Yeah.
And I saw Mr. Gale is here also.
Yes,
I bumped into him in the cantina when in the hall. It was really nice to see that also. You know?
Yeah. Small world. Small world. Definitely. Yeah. But yeah, and he was telling me at the time, he was like, "Phil, you need to slow down. You need to slow down." Obviously, being young and hot, I'm like, yes, sir. And then going off and doing it anyway, and doing a kickboxing competition, and doing this, that, and the other, and I really wished I'd listened to him more.
Yeah, for the young guys who listen, I had in '93 we had the European Championships in my place in Groningen that time, and I thought I was in shape. Then you lose some matches, and you thought, normally I don't lose from those people, not for those people, but you know you're better, and you think you're better, and the next competition comes and you get worse. Then it's in your head, and you think, it's me, and then you get a burnout, and then the sport's not going to be fun anymore. Your body is sore, you're tired, you're angry, and you do stupid stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So normally when you think later about what you did, you think, oh, I was so stupid. No, but why did you do that? Because you had a burnout, and then you do stupid things. And afterwards you can say, okay, I had to stop earlier, because you can notice that, you know? And people who've been there can tell you, you know? And nobody told me, and nobody was been there. So now I can tell all the guys from, now you better stop.
Yeah.
You know, it has no meaning to go on, because you will only get worse. And that's for you, it's only frustrating. So, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So, young guys that are listening, listen to your coach, listen to your instructor. Find the balance, have your holidays, and then train hard when it counts.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, that's... yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, you're thinking about it, huh? And
yeah, I must...
What did I do wrong, and when I did that?
I must admit, like, that personally, that hit a chord with me. And so forget about the rest of you guys. It's just good for me to hear. But so obviously now, you're just coaching.
Yeah.
How when you first stopped competing and then went into the coaching, was that difficult for you, or did you still feel the burn?
I had a talk today, and when you stop, just think about when you're competing very, very, very a lot, and then you stop, and you think about stopping, you're gonna cry. Honest, you're gonna cry. You're sad. You know, it hurts because it goes through your veins every day, every week, the whole year, 10 years, 20 years, you know, and then you have to decide, okay, now I quit. You're gonna sit down in the corner of your doyang, and you go like crying. And then you can say, okay, this is the last time, I quit. You know, and then you have to find a way to get back. Okay, then we have our students, we coach. Then one comes into the national team, you coach, and he's becoming a champion. And then you think, okay, maybe that's it, and that's it, because your passion is still in the Taekwondo, still in the competition. You can still be there. Now you can share your knowledge with other people, or with your students, or I do it with my seminars.
Talking of seminars, I'd like to take a quick... I know Mr. Howard Mays is having you over in Brighton on June the 6th?
Next week. This week.
This week. I don't know if there are any spots for that. I hopefully will get this broadcast out before that happens.
Okay.
If anyone would like to train with Mr. Tapilatu, he is coming to England next week. You need to contact Mr. Howard Mays from Brighton and Hove Taekwondo. If there are spots, maybe there aren't any, I don't know, then please do contact him. I thought I'd get that quick plug in there.
Thank you very much. And if it's full, we'll be back in September the 3rd.
Excellent, there you go, September the 3rd. So plenty of opportunities to train with the legend. And yeah, I love seminars. I love Mr. Suska came over.
I heard yeah.
Mr. Miss Solove came over as well. Sadly, I was injured and watched that, and it's amazing. I can't make the June ones, but September hopefully not hopefully I'll make it happen, and I'll be there for that, definitely. What sort of stuff do you do on the seminars?
The stuff I will do, it depends. Most of the time I have a little chat like this also, you know, because a lot of time people don't know what they can expect during your Taekwondo life and training. What happens, you know, everything can happen. Also the burnout can happen, but nobody talks about it. You know, nobody talks about it. Nobody's gonna tell you when you get tired, after 15 minutes, people said, "Yeah, I was busy." But if you're training hard, you're running into a burnout. When you come to competition, what nutrition you have, what weightlifting you do, you know, all that kind of stuff, also into the seminar. You know, that makes it the whole package. You know, besides all the combinations or why do you think you should have do this or do that into your own competition, you know, in your own fighting.
So the program as a whole, rather than just, you know, double side kick over the top hands,
or just doing drills. You know, drills is easy. Everybody can make drills or invent drills, but sometimes it's about how you think you're gonna fight. What is gonna happen when you fight? Your adrenaline goes. You block. You shred. You know, you stop thinking. You don't hear anything anymore. That will happen also.
Yeah.
You know, you get a punch in the head harder than you ever had before. How does your mind work? What are you going to do? You know, that's the kind of things people won't tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
There you go. That sounds. I'm excited. I'm very excited now to hear your thoughts on that and your experience and how you deal with those consistently. I think that's the like you touched on it earlier. Like obviously, you know, being a world champion is great for me. What I look for, like the selves yourself, Mr. Barada, etc. It is doing that consistently over a career. I think is phenomenal and really inspirational and it's things like that definitely that I know younger guys like myself and Adam, etc. that can really benefit from. So get to some Tapilatu seminars. Definitely, it's the place to be.
I'd love to see you guys. So
definitely
to share some knowledge.
Yeah, that's it. Knowledge is power, and that comes through experience. Which you have plenty of.
For a long time, so I can share it now, and I'm happy to share it, you know, and you can keep it for yourself, but I'm already retiring, so I'm into the coaching now, and Holland goes well, so we are planning for the future, from the younger guys, from the juniors up to the seniors, so...
So, last question for us, so any more of your time, what... saying about the coaching, do you have any like personal goals now that, you know, obviously the competition side of things, obviously the national team coaching is going well and settled into that, do you have any sort of personal goals that you're aiming for that you feel are yet to achieve?
Yeah, the personal goals is to more development in my own gym with my father, to get it a little bit bigger, and of course development of our now new training and selection commission in Holland. That's going to be more efficient, and that we can have a bigger squad from the national team, so we can come like England, like Norway, with a lot of more guys, and then finally come in the number 1 spot at the medal ranking.
There we go. Yeah, that's the
that's the goal for the next for the future.
Yeah.
So and if I can give my knowledge to the next one who comes in my place, I'm a happy man.
Excellent, wonderful. Thank you ever so much for sharing your time, experience.
You know, it's no problem.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure. June the 6th. September 3rd, September 3rd, seminars, Brighton and Hove Taekwondo. If you Google Brighton and Hove Taekwondo, you will get through to Mr. Howard Mays, who will be able to book you on that seminar with the legend himself.
Hope to see you there, or?
Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there with a big notepad and taking notes and hopefully with a less gammy shoulder. Excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Excellent.